Hey guys, before we get into this episode, I need to preface it just a little bit here. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a technical issue, and the recording of the episode didn't turn out. So the only quality that we have is the one from Blog Talk Radio itself, which, if you know from our previous times where this has happened, is absolute garbage. So unfortunately, the quality is going to drop down as soon as I get done giving this little intro here, and it sticks like that the entire time. I sincerely apologize, but we don't have any backup recordings because the main recording failed at the end of it. So very, very sorry about that, but really it came down to there's only two different options. Either one, I give you guys the bad quality version and you actually get the content, or I don't produce the episode at all. And I think overall, you guys would rather have the content. So, again, my apologies for how bad this episode sounds. I promise in the future, I'm going to try to do everything possible to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And if it does, then I apologize. But, you know, we can only do what we can do here. So, hopefully you guys enjoy it. And, sorry.
What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to a special episode of the Smack Talk podcast presented by SmarkOutMoment.com and MegaPowersRadio.com. I am your host, Tony Mango, and join me on the panel for this evening, I've got with me Mr. Mike Payton on the soundboard. Pretty sure he's looking for some kind of a clip to play.
John Cena!
I didn't know that we had John Cena here. Shit. Cena, nice job tonight. We also have Steven Wago.
I'm going to laugh when your video gets pulled up of YouTube for using that.
Yeah, it won't be for that. It'll be for something ridiculous. It'll be like, you know, the red gradient in the background or something is a copyright image from, I don't know, Getty Images or some bullshit.
From WWE's new hit show, Red Gradient.
I'd watch it. What the hell? Also, we've got Caroline Oliveira.
Hello.
Sean Walker.
Hello.
I haven't done a live one for, like, forever.
That's right, you haven't.
This is new. I don't like it.
And another guy who hasn't done a live one in forever, and maybe he likes it, maybe he doesn't, I don't know, Kalen Ferris.
I am also John Cena.
Oh, shit. Well, you need a better intro than that, then. Don't you?
No.
Alrighty, so we also have you guys joining us if you care to choose so, and if you do, there are a couple different ways in which you could do that. You can participate in our live chat that we've got going on right now. A little empty. Not too surprised, though. This wasn't a huge event, but if you end up funneling in through there, make sure that you get some kind of a username instead of just being a guest and, you know, chat with us. You can also call in live to the show, and you can do that in a couple different methods. You can call in via Skype, or you can call in with your phone, 760-512-7247, or the other number, which for some reason still works, 713-955-0363. And throughout this whole recap and review that we're going to be doing, you can just tell us what you think. Tell us why we're right or wrong, or whatever else is on your mind. And what we're going to be talking about is the latest WWE Network special event, the WWE Live from Madison Square Garden show. So let's go around here a little bit and just give our first impressions, I guess, the overall consensus that you've got with it. Wago, start with you first. What did you think about this event?
Overall, it was a fun night of matches. I've got nothing I can really complain about. There was nothing that wowed me to no ends, but it was a solid show.
Peyton, what about you?
You
didn't get a chance to see much of this since you didn't get off work in time, but what did you get a chance to see, and what did you think about it?
I caught the pretty much as Brock Lesnar was leaving, and I caught the steel cage match.
So your thoughts on what you did see? Was it a good Brock Lesnar leaving?
I mean, Brock Lesnar looked very strong as he was leaving. His muscles were flexing very well. Tattoos looked like they always do. Terrible. John Cena versus Seth Rollins in the cage, though, that was an excellent steel cage match. Guys were using a lot of great psychology and use of the cage throughout the match. I mean, we saw a lot of things we saw with these guys before. One of my favorite moves that Seth's been pulling out of his arsenal a lot is that superplex into that other sit-down suplex combo he does. I love when he does that. So that seeing that with the cage there and everything. Awesome. Dug it.
Caroline, what about you?
It was okay. I mean, I don't think it was the worst, but to me it was so underwhelming. I thought that Big Show and Brock Lesnar, I was going to see blood. Like, there was something, like some intensity. But I just kind of felt like, meh, okay, that's all right. You know, it wasn't that great for me.
Sean, what about you?
Besides the Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho match, the cage match, which finished awful in my opinion, it was a pretty meh show.
So we got some mixed opinions here with some positives, some negatives. Kayla, what about you? You think you're more on the optimistic side or the pessimistic?
Well, it didn't blow me away, but it did exceed my expectations. I didn't have really high hopes going into it, but I was surprised, you know, for being what it was. I thought it was a pretty damn good show. Like Mike was saying, the steel cage match was probably the best match of the night, and I really enjoyed that one. I enjoyed some of the other matches too, but we'll get into that.
So now I'm on more of the blah side, and I also want to preface this by saying I didn't hate it. So for the people that are like, oh my God, what did you expect and whatever like that, I did think that this was just pretty much a glorified house show, so I wasn't expecting too much. But at the same time, the fact that it was a glorified house show means I expected a little bit more than what would be on a house show. And when I look at what the breakdown was of what happened tonight, my overwhelming perspective of the whole thing was repeat. And it drove me nuts. Now, we've got a couple different matches that happened that we weren't really necessarily expecting to happen. They announced a couple different ones, and they changed it up, so that was a positive. But I still felt like by the end of the night, this was nothing that I hadn't already seen before. And we might as well just go match by match and break this down, and I'll give the examples why and stuff like that. But we started it off with a little change up. Instead of having Rusev versus Ziggler or Sheamus versus Orton, WWE decided to just combine their efforts and make it a tag team match. So my first thought was, oh, good, because we're not going to have to sit through a half an hour of this, only about 15 minutes. But that being said, I got to say the only thing that really stood out to me in this match is what happened after the match, which was Rusev calling Sheamus a stupid American.
No, he didn't. He said
told you to
he said you stupid non-American.
Oh, he said non-American?
Yeah.
No,
you
he said
stupid
non-American.
Go back and listen. Go back and listen to it again.
He said an American.
He said non-American.
He said
go back and listen to it.
Either way, that was like my big takeaway, which doesn't say a lot of positives for it. I didn't think that the match was necessarily bad, and I definitely prefer this being a tag match than having two separate singles matches. But what's the difference between this and what we see on Monday Night Raw? And, you know, when I look at it in that perspective, I didn't need to see it. So I can't say that it really was special. I can't say that it was really that entertaining. All four guys have a certain level of talent. Everybody knows my stance on Sheamus, so I don't need to really elaborate on that. But I expected better out of this kind of a match from what would be a special event. If this was a house show, then it's acceptable. The fact that it's a televised one, up your game a little bit. You know what I mean? What do you guys think about that? Is this something that was okay for what it was worth, or did you kind of, I don't know, you wanted something more? Who wants to tag in?
I'll tag in.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, I'll go. Sure.
No, fuck you. I hate you. All right, I'm going. Fuck you.
John Cena!
This was a show that wasn't meant for us initially. They just decided to air it because, hey, Brock Lesnar is worth signing up for the WWE Network. And for what we got a lot of great content for which they wouldn't have to do normally. We got a hell of a cage match tonight, and honestly, I really enjoyed the Brock Lesnar Big Show match. So I think for what it was meant to be, we got a lot of great value.
what about the tag team match specifically? Was that something that had the proper amount of value, or was this completely skippable?
You know about the tag team title match?
No, the tag team match that I was talking about a minute ago. First match of the card.
Oh, shit, yeah, I forgot. That's how much I care about that match.
Yeah, that's how bad.
That's why you're so eager to tag in for that, right?
That kind of says a lot if you forgot about it, especially after I just brought it up. Like, it was just in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, I really didn't tune out. Like, I totally tuned out for that match. I think I found a cookie, and it was really awesome.
What kind of cookie?
Chocolate chip.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's much better than this match.
Yeah.
Kaylin, you were going to tag in for this. What did you think about this opening tag match?
Sure, I'm actually.
All right, I'll tag in.
Match. Fuck you. Before, when we were doing our predictions, we basically shit all over the, Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Rusev Ziggler singles matches. When I turned it on and I realized that they were combining them and making a tag, I'm like, thank fucking God, they're freshening it up a little bit, I mean, it wasn't the same old stale, those two matches again. So that gave it a different dynamic. I thought that was cool. That said, the match itself, nothing really was spectacular in it. It was better than the two matches would have been by themselves. I'm really glad that Summer Rae did not have a spot in this really at all, because I was worried that she was going to have some kind of distraction or interference, and unless I looked away during that time, I don't think she did. The antics after the match definitely were the highlight, where he got on the mic, and then, so I don't know, is this setting up Rusev for even more of a babyface push? Is that what's going on there?
No, he definitely looked like the heel there. If anybody looked like a babyface at the end of Sheamus.
I didn't.
Although, I mean, him as a babyface is like an odd concept now.
Yeah, I don't want babyface Sheamus anymore. Not right now, at least.
Well, it was a little bit of a flashback. Speaking of a repeat kind of thing, he brought up at the end, the whole kiss me arse thing. It was like, all right, well, you don't have much to worry about, Rusev. They don't enforce that rule anyway, according to Extreme Rules. Pisses me off. I hated that. It's one of my least favorite things from this year. It was this year, right?
Sadly.
God damn, I hated that so much. Caroline, what did you think about the opening match?
Forgettable. I mean, I actually used that time to do the dishes. Like, I didn't really care. I mean, no Lana, really.
Woo!
Yeah. It was a good soundtrack for the dishes. Like, it was fine. That's really all I have to say about that match. It was really meh.
Sean, are you in the same boat as us?
Pretty much.
Washing the dishes.
I don't know if Sheamus more out between me and yourself, to be fair. Because I can't stand Sheamus. You can't stand Sheamus. I think we should have a Sheamus off, face off, like, see who hits him the most.
I'm so, tuning out Sheamus that I don't even know what I would do in that. I don't think I would even participate.
I probably fall asleep.
When I look at Sheamus, the only thing I can think about, those beads that he has around his beard, I just imagine his pubic hair full of that stuff too. That's all I can think about. It's so distracting.
I think it's more
weird?
disgusting than distracting.
That's a mental image for Monday Night Raw, isn't it?
It's a mental image for my nightmares. Shit. I don't want to think about that. Out of all the people that are in this match, you got Summer Rae out there, and that's the person that you're trying to get into my brain. I don't want to have that ever in my head. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, that took us into another repeat match that we've been seeing over the past couple of months. Stardust versus Neville. The only real different thing that I can think that happened here was Cody put on the cape for a minute. I was like, okay, now he's Stardust in a cape. Oh, look at that, he lost. These two are good. I like both of them. And I, always find the Red Arrow a fun move to watch. But at the same token, I mean, you just had this Rusev, Sheamus, Ziggler, Orton thing. I didn't care about that. And then this was just kind of like, we're adding this match to the card, and I was like, oh, it's a shame I already seen it a bunch of times. And this trend would continue throughout the night. So really, it just got worse and worse to where, like, I couldn't get into them. And Stardust and Neville, I was really trying. I was thinking maybe they're gonna do something that'll like wake me up, sort of. It kind of didn't. I don't really have anything like bad to say about it. It wasn't a bad match, but I don't really have anything good to say about it either, other than they did their normal shtick.
Right.
Anybody disagree with that? Anybody think it was actually pretty damn entertaining? Hopefully somebody was that entertained.
There was another good point about this match that you completely missed.
What was that?
Neville got me points.
That was a great point match.
Oh.
Does anybody have Stardust?
I think Drew does. No, I think Drew still has him.
Didn't Drew drop him for like Luke Harper or something and then turn it back?
I think you picked up.
Oh, maybe.
Either way, Stardust doesn't get any points for anybody, and it wouldn't matter if it was Drew's team anyway. Fantasy League. It's going to be in my head now. Kaylin, on your side, Stardust and Neville, you got into this pay-per-view a little bit afterward, and we were trying to tell you, like, you know, you could skip the first tag match or whatever, and I think it was Sean said you could skip Stardust and Neville too. Did you end up skipping it, or did you end up
I did not. I actually watched the whole Stardust Neville match, and I'm glad I did. I like the dynamic between these two guys. They work really well together. Yes, we've seen it a few times now, but this is one feud I'm not tired of yet. I could watch these guys go a couple more times. I really like the way they work together. This match didn't really stand out as being one of their better matches, but I was entertained the whole time.
So I go, what do you think about where you were like, oh, cool?
I think they gave us a decent match. I don't think the commentary helped tonight. That really hurt it, actually. There was a lot of dead moments, and I don't think JBL said a single sentence.
He was pretty
silent. Yeah.
That is true.
I got to quote what Mr. JBL said. He said, England deserve to have Neville play for them against Australia today in the Rugby World Cup. That was it. That's all he said in his entire match.
Wow.
Great input, John.
Yep.
I just picture Byron sitting
for
there.
like 5 minutes.
Byron's just like, oh, not again. I don't want to have the booth on myself again. And Rich Brennan's just like, dude, I'm here. And JBL's like, just looking around. I'm not.
I think JBL was playing Angry Birds.
He might have been. I don't know. He really was just like not a presence tonight. And I don't know if that's because Cole wasn't there and they work better together. Maybe he just wasn't feeling it. Maybe he doesn't like those two. I mean, you could tell he kind of doesn't like Byron Saxton, and who blames him? But yeah, he was just not selling it tonight. And of course, Byron Saxton, you know, he's not selling.
I don't think anybody likes Byron Saxton.
There's got to be somebody that likes Byron backstage. He's still got a job.
Maybe he gave somebody a blowjob or something.
Maybe that's why Rose is off doing her own thing. Yeah, Michael P.S. Hayes moved on.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, he is better than Mike Adamle.
I don't know. See, Adamle, at least when he fucked up, he was entertaining. Like, that guy was a complete idiot. And it was great to hear the bullshit that would come out of his mouth. Kind of like Booker T when he was on commentary. Like, what nonsense he would end up pulling out. But it was going to be funny. Byron's just kind of, like, so bland and he's so uninteresting.
Now, we know why he's good to be there? Because he's the punching bag.
That is really his only good point. And Rich Brennan, like, he's not gotten comfortable enough to, like, get those jabs in against Byron.
Well, he also doesn't have the clout yet either.
Yeah, that's true. If he started doing that, Byron's actually be like, yeah, I've been here longer than you. What the fuck? And it'd be like, yeah, well, you've been here longer and you still don't know what the hell to do. Or JBL would just sit there going, yeah, whatever. Oh, man, fucking Redbird.
The only time I like Saxton is when he's on the panels with the pay-per-views.
I don't even like him there.
At least then I got to suffer for him, like, for 5 minutes.
But he's a punching bag on panels, too.
Damn fucking he is. Corey Graves leaves the shit into him. It's great.
He does, doesn't he? Corey Graves in particular is just kind of like, yeah, fuck you, Byron. Ass. Our next match was Team Bella versus Team PCB.
Aww.
I could have sworn that, and everybody said that I am totally wrong about this, so I believe that I'm wrong, but at the same time, I thought that they had announced ahead of time that Charlotte was going to defend the title against Nikki at this event. Did they say that for like a Raw episode or like, I don't know, something before Hell in a Cell? Because I thought that it was something before Hell in a Cell.
I don't remember that.
Couldn't have been TakeOver, obviously. Maybe I have some really stupid dream about that or whatever. I don't know, but I thought that we were going to get some kind of a Divas match here. So when this ended up happening, it was like, all right, well, here's our obligatory Divas match. Again, a shame that it's a repeat, something we've seen a bunch of times. And I don't know. I mean, I couldn't get into this one either. Did anybody like it?
No.
No.
I mean, they look good. Like,
I'll agree with that.
physically. Yeah. That was about it. Yeah. I do have to say that Charlotte's costume is better now than when she first came in. She had that pink and green Nickelodeon thing going on. Yeah, that one was stupid. I mean, at least this one looks a little bit more feminine to hide her penis. But sorry, I really think she's a dude, guys. I really do. Like, she's so masculine. My God.
She's really Charles Flair.
Aww.
Anybody think that it was weird that the baby faces not only chose to lose this match, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're trying to think like everybody wants to win all their matches, but that they also were the bullies here, proving a point to Paige and turning on her?
I didn't think it was weird. I felt like it was so, like, it's starting to feel like it's a high school shtick with all the divas, like even more than before. I guess it was already bad when they had like the cliques and all that stuff, but I feel like now it's just getting this like dragged out high school version of a division. Is that just me?
It's been that way always.
Oh, okay.
No, but going off Tony's point there, wins and losses don't matter. They haven't mattered for a long time. They even said that in this story, that wins and losses don't matter. So, like, they're not going to care about walking away from a loss. Like, they're getting paid for their appearance. They make Paige look like a buffoon, which was their ultimate goal, and they walk away. I've said this many times before. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. The winner should be paid more. The champion's purse, the winner's purse, all that needs to be talked about because that's what makes winning matter. And if winning doesn't matter, who cares?
Exactly. Then it would be, well, why don't they just do that for every match and just not get themselves hurt? I mean, heels do it, but these are the baby faces. They should be the ones that go, all right, let's put our differences aside, let's try to win. And if anybody would turn on anybody, it would be Paige. But we've already seen that before, too, so it was just like you're either repeating yourself in one way or you're repeating yourself in another way, and one way makes less sense than the other one.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, damn if they do and damn if they don't. But I got to say my least favorite part of this whole thing, they had to give Paige the microphone at the end, didn't they? Thankfully. Thankfully.
That just made me think of you, Tony. It's like, oh, Tony's having such a great time right now.
I can't forgive you. We're not friends anymore.
She needs to go back to promo class, right?
I don't know if it's necessarily that she needs to learn how to cut a promo. I think it's just that she needs to stop being so goddamn whiny and bitchy during it. Like, her voice is more of an annoyance than actually what she's saying.
Paige recently cut a half-decent promo on Charlotte, and now she's just gone 20 steps backwards. Jesus Christ, it was abysmal.
That was
it was really, 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 really fucking terrible.
And, like, her main point was, I'm your friend and I would never do that to you and whatever. And I don't know, the whimpering and stuff, that was just like, God damn, give me a break. Like, I didn't buy it at all.
Yeah.
And
I'm just like, man, just someone just threw a brick at her right now, I'd be so happy.
Yeah, you know what would be like so fucking great if Brock Lesnar would have just come out and been like, "This is my show, goddammit, just give her an F5." You know,
I couldn't have like. If they were going for sympathy, I could not have any for her.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going for sympathy. I think they were going for like, because we're not supposed to like Paige right now, so they'd probably be like, "Oh, okay, well, look at her, she's crying because she lost, and if she wouldn't have pissed them off, they would have been there for her," and that kind of a thing or whatever. But this doesn't make me think that. It just makes me kind of want to go do something else. Like, Caroline was saying in the beginning of this, she was washing her dishes, and I'm like, I would have rather had like taken the trash out at this point than to watch this Paige promo. And I don't like taking out the trash. She does. But who likes listening to these promos either? So that's the kind of opposite reaction. Like, it's not the she did something to piss you off, so that's good. It's they did something to annoy you and not want to watch. And I'm not buying it. Paige is better as a heel than a babyface, but she's not great at cutting promos. And I think that she thinks that she is. It's a little bit weird.
I agree.
Loves the tone of her voice, that's for sure.
It's one of those where it's not the kind of heat where it's like, man, I really want to see her get her comeuppance. It's the kind of heat it's like, I don't want to watch this feud anymore heat. I can't seem to get myself to give a shit about this feud or, about the whole Paige, fully turning. Like, even when she came out tonight, I'm like, wait, didn't she already turn heel on those guys? Why is she teaming up with them again?
Yeah, I was so confused about that too.
Well, you know what? There is an upside to all of this. Them making us not care about the women again makes it easier for us to know when to take our piss breaks.
One notable thing, though, what the loudest chant that I picked up during this whole match was, "We want Sasha. We want Sasha." That was the loudest chant I heard. So that should tell them something in the back. I mean, there you go.
And I really hope that Sasha and Bayley fucking crush it at TakeOver. I mean, not only because I'm going to be watching it, but because they should. And I'm pretty confident that they will. To prove the point that if you're good enough, you'll figure out a way to do it in the right circumstances and all that. Utmost faith that it's going to be a great main event. And probably one of my favorite matches of the year, let alone of the night and all that other kind of stuff. And this, though, it was like, oh, okay, Team PCB. Great. No faith whatsoever in it. And they kind of proved me right. Shame. On the other hand, though, we had what I think was the best match of the night outside of possibly the main event, the Intercontinental Championship match. We had Kevin Owens defend against Chris Jericho, and I liked this match pretty much from start to finish. I liked Jericho's little promo ahead of time. I liked how it ended, which for those who didn't see it and want to know the spoilers, it ended with Kevin Owens raking Chris Jericho's eyes and getting him in a roll-up for the win. So, Jericho looks kind of strong, and Kevin Owens looks like a complete ass, like he should. Still retains the title, and all is well in the world. I think that this was just solid. I liked it a lot. What do you guys think? Who wants to tag in on this one?
Well,
okay, well, what I thought, no.
Oh, you're not going to go? Okay. Solid match. I didn't like the promo. It just felt like Lightbright Jericho was doing all his classic hits. I'm kind of done with my fill of Jericho for a while, unless he does something fresh. As far as the match goes itself, though, it was a solid outing by both guys. And Kevin Owens, being Kevin Owens, is the only heel that's cheating, and just works for his character.
Alan?
Yeah, you remember when Jericho teamed up with Ambrose and Reigns, and at the end it looked like he was going to turn heel on him? Remember how they followed that storyline? Like, what? And then all of a sudden he comes out and he's just regular Lightbright Jericho with the babyface pop. And boy, man, he was just going off on his promo before the match, trying to win over that crowd. Now, the match itself I thought was good. These guys work well together. Kevin Owens, though, this match, Kevin Owens is just cementing himself in my mind as one of the best heels in the business in the last couple of years. I just love watching him. He's such a good character. He knows what he's doing all the time. And, you know, I knew there was not going to be any kind of title change or anything like that, so that wasn't really in my mind. The match itself, I enjoyed it, but I don't think it was as good as the main event.
Kind of reminds me of the heels from, like, the 80s and 90s. The early 90s, I mean. Like, he's very basic in what he does, but it works. I mean, you poke a guy in the eye and you win. Why would you need to do anything more? Referee didn't see it. And it's just, haha, I beat you. Now you can't see for a while.
I love that. That's what heels should do.
Right. It's so simple and it's so effective. Instead of having to go, like, far above and beyond and go, like, crazy lengths to try to figure out something new and fresh or whatever, well, you know, sometimes old is new. And it's working for Kevin Owens. He knows exactly what he's doing. I think that Jericho has a good way to, like, work with those kind of guys where he can kind of feed into it a little bit. You know, obviously he was going to be a babyface here, so it's like, hey, everybody, remember when I used to do this shtick? 25 years. You're going to hate me in a minute because I'm going to lose. But all positives on my side of things. Sean, what did you think about Jericho versus Kevin Owens?
I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed this match. This is why I'm a wrestling fan, is to watch matches like this. Don't get me wrong, I think Chris Jericho should have won the title because Chris Jericho is like my favorite wrestler of all time, so he deserves everything. But the right man won, I would say. You know, and Lance Storm is bald. That's the thing. Poor Lance, he looked awful. He looked
He's been bald for a while.
He has?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been, like, you know, stalking Lance Storm to figure out what he's been looking like the past couple of years, but I was surprised.
Well, I have, and yeah, he's been like that for a while.
You know what I was surprised to see? The Jackal?
Jackal.
It's a Jackal. It's a Jackal. That was odd. Like, I didn't think that was anybody next to him at all. Like, I thought it was just like, oh, cool, Lance Storm. He's bald. Oh, that's weird. Then he's just like, oh, and there's the Jackal next to him. I'm like, what? I thought you were going to tell me that, like, the row behind them is fucking Kurgan or something? Like,
I think it's fine Chris Jericho wrestles in a T-shirt.
Oh, he's just getting old man flab.
He's got on that skin, I told you.
We were just talking about that.
Other people are seeing it.
Yeah. He's starting to flab over his trunks, isn't he? It's very unappealing. Even though
I think he still looks good. What are you guys talking about?
Well, if you're into that old man skin, I guess.
Old man.
Those look great in his beard.
Just Sheamus' balls for you. That's all I'm gonna say. Just live with that one.
Every time that the phrase "old man skin" comes up, I keep imagining that pudding skin, that layer that goes on at the top of the pudding.
Oh, but that's so good, though. You can compare those two.
Well, you did say that Jericho looked good, so if you like the pudding skin, you like old man skin.
All right, okay, fine. I don't like old man skin. I just don't think he looks bad right now.
Breaking news, you all heard it, everybody, on megapowersradio.com. Caroline
likes old man skin.
Old man skin. Perfect.
Oh, man. If I get any weird stalkers out of this, you guys, I swear to God, it's going to be on you.
Well, if you get any weird stalkers that are listening in and they want to call into the show and talk to Caroline about the old man skin, remember, 2 ways you can do that. Skype or 760-512-7247, or what's that other number? 713-955-0363. And before we move on to the next part, let me get Peyton's opinion about this real quick. I didn't see the match, but what did you think? What did you think about the idea that Kevin Owens retained the title here? Were you expecting that, or were you hoping for something different? Or
No, Jericho is there on the partest of part-time basis right now. Have we even seen him at all since that Night of Champions appearance?
Nope.
No. So I thought it was just an exhibition. I'm shocked they even made it for the title.
I think they did that just to kind of play up that 10-time thing.
Well, yeah, and Jericho's sort of like, I guess, the most recognized Intercontinental champion. At least I would probably say that. because he's won it the most times. He's just kind of like that king of the mid-card type kind of guy.
If he's not the most, he's up there in the top 5 for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think they just put it because of how special that is.
And speaking of somebody winning it for the 10th time, we had another time like that happen tonight. Well, not necessarily, but we had the Dudley Boyz trying to get their 10th WWE Tag Team Championship title reign against the New Day. And, I keep saying theme of tonight was repeat. This was a repeat of Night of Champions. Same situation. Xavier Woods ends up coming in, causing a DQ. They put him through a table. You watched it one time, you watched it this time then. The only real difference for this whole thing that I can think of was the pre-match stuff, which was, again, great because the New Day just loves doing, like, the craziest shit. And actually my favorite part of that wasn't even necessarily, like, the promo that they were cutting or whatever. It was just they're walking down the ramp. And, the fans are always doing their shit where they, like, try to reach out. And for some reason, everybody loves to touch wrestlers. It's just like, yeah, I tapped him in the back. That's great. But Kofi's just like in the middle talking to me. He goes, "Don't touch me, dog."
Yes, that was so great.
That was good.
I laughed hysterically at that because I was not expecting it. And I actually rewound it. I was just like, no, I didn't hear that right, did I? That was just so odd. Just, don't touch me, dog. Come on, man. But I love their pre-match stuff. I always do. I thought that it was great that they played up the idea that, like, putting Xavier Woods through a table, like, really, really upset him. He had that, like, it was about to cry look on his face and stuff. Great stuff. I like that. And I like the match, too. I'm not going to shit on the match, but I am going to shit on the ending because I thought not only was this a good opportunity for them to change those belts, at the very least, do something different from Night of Champions. We just saw this 2-3 weeks ago. And that's the best you could do?
See, I started late, and you told me to skip the Stardust Neville one, but this is actually one where I did skip at least half the match to get caught up better. And I don't regret it because the parts that I saw were good. They was all decent anyway, but like you said, it was just a friggin' repeat from the last pay-per-view. We've seen this match. We've seen the same ending. I did get to see probably what I'm guessing was the best part of it, which is their promo before when they're walking down, like you said. I liked how they're like, he shoves him for no reason. And then he has some obscure 90s commercial reference. But, I like that part of it. But, the whole ending, it's like, we've seen this. Boring. Next.
And Waco, what do you think about how they not only did a repeat of this at Night of Champions, but we're most likely going to be getting another match between them at Hell in a Cell? How do they spice this up?
I thought the match was fun as hell. I don't see what the problem is. It was just a very good tag team match on a card which is just a filler card. I had no issue with it at all. Then I got another table spot. That's always pops the crowd. So for what it was, it's building the feud. I have no issue with it.
All right, same question to you, Sean. What do you think? Is this good enough, or should they spice it up? And if so, how?
The only way I can see them spicing this up is by having a tables match at the Hell in a Cell, but then what's the point when you got TLC just around the corner?
Yeah, it's a couple months away.
Is it after Hell in a Cell?
No, TLC's in December.
Oh.
We got Survivor Series before that.
Oh, Survivor Series.
What the fuck was that for?
That thing that's been around for like 30 years.
Yeah, Survivor Series just needs to die at this point.
Oh, okay, Vince.
The big four.
But, we'll come to that when it's the predictions for Survivor Series.
Well, you're going to try to like a counter for when TNA dies and when Survivor Series dies? Because
Survivor Series, because fuck that fucking pay-per-view. I prefer bragging rights.
Bragging rights was good. They do need to bring that back. And it needs to be about NXT and WWE.
How do you do bragging rights if you don't even have a brand split anymore?
NXT, WWE.
WWE.
Yeah.
And NXT wins, obviously.
What then? Fucking this dug up thing from this terrible era when they had the brand split.
Yeah, you already got the name. All you got to do is redo the logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they said about ECW, too. We saw how well that worked out.
Oh, that was a big mistake.
Not what I'm drinking, dude. Not what I'm drinking.
Now, Caroline, you just admitted you finally are into the New Day.
Yes.
What won you over?
Oh man, I don't know. Like for a while, ever since they brought that, whatever that is, I don't know any musical instruments. That trombone. It was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is funny. And Biggie dancing. I'm like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't mind just watching that for a while. That's funny. Okay.
Like a lava lamp.
Yeah. He just looks so constipated to me all the time. I just don't know why. And then like they became friends with Seth, and if Seth likes somebody, I like them too.
Oh.
I'm being such a girl right now, but I like Seth a lot.
And the reason that you like Seth is because he's got a dog.
Yes, he has a Yorkie. Very cute. Very cute.
So then we had what should have been our main event, for what a lot of people would have assumed, Brock Lesnar versus Big Show. Were you guys surprised that happened here? I was.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
No. John Cena always goes on last. It's a rule.
Especially if it's a steel cage.
I just figured that they would do Brock Lesnar last because, that was the sell. I think it was a better decision because definitely the way that the match panned out, I mean, that would have been a really odd main event just to squash, but...
I don't know if it was necessarily the only selling point. It was a big promoted match, but the whole event was actually promoted as WWE Live at MSG. It was promoted as a whole card as opposed to Beast in the East where it was 100% Brock Lesnar. Like for Beast in the East, they didn't even say who Brock Lesnar was facing in the commercials.
That is true.
It's just like, Brock Lesnar is coming to Japan, motherfuckers.
Brock Lesnar's going to fuck someone up. Find out. Beast in the East. This one at least was like, Brock Lesnar's going to fuck up Big Show. And some other shit's going to happen. And it's
do you reckon Big Show is going to retire tomorrow night?
No, not at all. He's just going to be off TV for a while. Actually, he might even just show up on Monday night.
Yeah, maybe he'll take tomorrow night off. I don't even think he'll do that, but he'll be back by next week.
Actually, well, tomorrow night's Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, on Monday.
So, yeah, he's definitely off tomorrow night.
My bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking that this is Sunday night right now, too, because when do we usually have events on Saturdays?
Right.
So on Monday, he's going to come out and do a speech, and then Brock Lesnar's just going to belly-to-belly him through a fucking car, and that's it.
No. Oh, no. See, Brock Lesnar needs to be done with Big Show. In case we all forgot, he has a Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker coming up they need to build.
Isn't this Monday night the Stone Cold podcast, or is that next Monday?
Must be next Monday. This
Next
Monday
Monday
is the NXT documentary.
Oh, that's right. The WWE 24. I want to watch that. Actually seems kind of interesting. Still don't know why they call that 24, though.
I think it's supposed to be like there's some kind of new show, like expose type show called 24/7 or something like that. So I think they're just knocking off of that.
They should have just called it like WWE Minutes and had that. So this ended up being a squash match. I mean, they started it off with Big Show choke slamming Brock Lesnar like 4 times or whatever, and Lesnar just kept getting right back up. And then it eventually just turned into Suplex City, and one failed attempt at an F5, but he kind of laughed it off, gave him another suplex, picked him back up, F5, match is over. Came back over again, gave him another suplex and another F5, and that's all she wrote. Big Show, all sweaty and pissed off at himself for losing. Brock Lesnar all smiley and just like, told you. So I didn't expect much more than this. But again, I got to go back to with the repeat thing. Brock Lesnar's not had many matches since he's come back. And one of them, just as recently as Royal Rumble 2014, Brock Lesnar squashing Big Show in a quick match. So I saw it already. And it was fun to see him toss Big Show around, yeah. But I don't feel like this was really something that I needed to watch. I mean, I look back on this event, and even something like this, I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah, he did what I expected him to do in the exact same kind of way, minus a chair. All right. So a little bit underwhelmed, even though it was kind of fun to see him toss a giant around. But I can't say too many positives about it. And I think before anybody points out the dropping thing, that's not going to be something where I would be like, oh, he dropped him. That's, the fucking end of the world or whatever like that. I think we can all agree here. It's pretty damn impressive that he did all that other shit. And if he drops him one time, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Or did that just take you out of the match?
It didn't bother me at all. I thought this match was solid for what it was meant to be. It was just meant to be a squash match to make Brock Lesnar look strong before going into Hell in a Cell, and did accomplish that. He took 3 choke slams, kicked out at 2, and then just went to town. And when he did drop him, he just kind of laughed it off and went, fuck it, and gave him another German before he picked him up again. So, solid match. I liked that he came out and whooped his ass again after the match. And it doesn't really get me any more excited for Hell in a Cell, but it's nice to see Brock Lesnar once, on a few more occasions.
Anybody think that it's weird that they didn't do anything with the WMD?
No, they teased him hitting it once. Brock Lesnar ducked it and took him to Suplex City.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't think this was going to be like a 20-minute match or anything like that, but this is one of those where I wish I would have gotten a little bit more. I mean, I understand what they're doing. They're just building up Brock Lesnar for Hell in a Cell, but I wish they would have done that a little bit more. Made Big Show a little bit more of a credible threat, because then it would be even greater when Lesnar overcame. I know we've seen these guys before, but it ended up being like about 4 minutes, and I don't know. I just was hoping for more out of this one. This one, I would say, was the biggest letdown for me.
I agree 100%. I guess it's because I'm new to watching WWE, but I really thought that it was going to be intense. I was really psyched about it. Oh, okay, go ahead. Say whatever you guys want to say, but I really thought it was going to be a really cool, intense match of these 2, huge guys, and I don't know, it was going to be awesome. And then when he ended it, I was just kind of like, oh, damn, really?
Welcome to being a wrestling fan.
Yeah, basically.
I guess, but I agree 100% what you just said.
Being a wrestling fan is a long series of disappointments.
and kind of like anticipating a disappointment and only being a little bit disappointed, so then you're happy. You're like, oh, I didn't hate it. And then there's few times where they get you, and you're like, oh my god, I fucking love wrestling. And then the whole rest of the year, you're like, oh, that sucked.
Yeah, what they like to do is give you what you wanted, and then somehow fuck it up in a horrible way or take it away.
Aww.
It's like that WrestleMania 30 moment where you're like, yeah, Daniel Bryan is the champion. Oh my god, this is going to be a great year for... Hey, he's injured? What?
Shit.
It really is. You'll get used to that after a while.
It's an abusive relationship.
I'll try. I'll try to endure it.
It's like a codependent relationship. They need our money, and we, for some reason, need their product, even though we hate it. Like drug addicts. We're like, well, no, we should stop. But I think I'll turn on NXT. But I think I'll get the network. But they're going to do some special expose, some 48 minutes or whatever. Our final match of the night was our steel cage match for the United States Championship. John Cena defended against Seth Rollins and successfully defended Kane, Demon Kane, I should specify. He had a little bit of corporate Kane earlier on, which he was his usual stick that he, which is something that I know at least Peyton and I think is funny because it's cheesy as all hell.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fucking good guy King is fucking...
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Tonight for Seth Rollins. He's got a chance of winning the United States Championship.
That was great.
He's got the crutches on. He's selling the idea that corporate Kane is injured, but Demon Kane isn't. It's so dumb that I have to. I mean, come on. But he caused a little bit of a distraction, prevented Seth Rollins from jumping down from the cage, and he, would have ended up winning at that point. And John Cena hits an attitude adjustment and gets the win. And Kane in afterward and just, give us a choke slam and a tombstone to Seth Rollins, and that's how we end the show. I thought that this was a good match. One of my favorite matches between the two of them. I still think, though, overall, if I got to point to anything between Rollins and Cena, it's got to be that Royal Rumble match. Maybe it was because I was there. I don't know. But I did like it. I think this or the Kevin Owens one, those were the two best matches of the night by far. And I'm kind of hoping that this feud's over with now because I wanted to end on a positive note, just move on to something else, separate Rollins and Cena, let them do other stuff, and kind of build this thing up with Kane. And I think that they need it. So I'm happy that Kane got involved. Although I'm a little bit confused about one thing. Did anybody else notice that the lights were dimming a couple times in this match?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought MSG
like they're preparing for it or something?
Yep, exactly.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just some rickety lighting at MSG. It's an old building that they've done a lot of renovations on, but it's still like it's beyond repair at this point. Like that's why they're planning on just tearing it down.
It's got
I think the real answer is just to blame Kevin Dunn.
Well, no, they've been at Raw this past week.
What was that?
Like they didn't put any of the matches on the big screen all night.
Really?
And so people only watched in the ring. And I remember they did that at NXT TakeOver a bunch of times too.
They did
like
it for SummerSlam as well.
During the ladder match and I think the Divas match, like half the match wasn't on the screen, and people were in the top section were just like, "Fix the screen, fix the screen." What the hell's been going on?
We can't hear you. That sucks. I don't know who's in charge for that. That's not food then.
I think it's probably that guy that Mark Henry threw over the ledge a couple years ago.
He's got like brain damage and every once in a while. But they need to like keep him hired because they've got some kind of a
lawsuit or something.
Yeah, like the whole like draw situation that they hired him afterward and stuff.
You mean kind of like TNA and Jesse Sorensen? Oh wait.
Yeah, except for TNA. I love how this went from maybe it was like them preparing for Kane's entrance a little bit too much to fuck Kevin Dunn to WWE's got injured workers to hey, remember how much TNA sucks?
All comes back to that.
Yep. It's all one vicious circle.
See, at least WWE, they have like in the one match the lights go out a little bit here and there. If this was a TNA show, well, first off, nobody would be in the audience. And second, they probably wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, there would be. There'd be Jim Ross in the audience complaining about the lighting.
You guys are growing too damn fast. These lights are going on and off too damn fast. So, Peyton, you did see this match. You did have some positive things to say about this and whatever. But what do you think overall with the situation with Kane and Seth Rollins? Did this help build up some positive stuff for you? Were you more interested in seeing this, or is it just kind of run of the mill and
No, this is Kane playing more mind games with Seth Rollins, and obviously preventing him from getting any more gold around his waist, therefore building his ego any further. This is the perfect thing they could have done. I think this does put finality to this feud. I am glad because there's been a lot of rumors surfacing about John Cena taking time off, and not that I don't think he should do that. I think he's perfectly deserving of it. I just thought it would have been stupid just to put the belt back on Seth Rollins tonight. You could do a much better thing with his open challenge or whatever if you want to throw that title on somebody else.
They got to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have to just, like, either at Hell in a Cell he goes into it with an open challenge and we don't know who's going to face him and that person wins, or it happens on Raw.
Adrian Neville.
Who is this Adrian Neville?
Yo, Adrian.
Adrian. I miss Adrian Neville.
I don't know. Is he a part of that same division with Alexander Rusev?
And Biggie Langston?
And Antonio Cesaro.
And whatever
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Whatever Kennedy's first name was supposed to be.
It's Kennedy.
Oh yeah, Mr. Kennedy Anderson.
Kennedy.
There you go. Your thoughts on the steel cage match?
Oh, I thought this match was awesome. It's the best Seth Rollins and John Cena matches I've seen, excluding the triple threat match. So, yeah, nothing to complain about. And they finally started making this Kane and Seth Rollins feud interesting. I think it's going to be a great just throwaway pay-per-view match. Sometimes when there's no fresh challengers, you need a guy like Kane to fill a spot, and I think it's just going to be good to pad out Seth's title reign until they want to take it off him.
Caroline, you disappointed that Seth Rollins lost?
I am. I really am. I thought he was going to win. I mean, I guess I saw Kane coming and doing something stupid, but I am disappointed. Seth should have all the titles, him or Roman Reigns, and then just call it a day. And, okay, and I might add Big E there too because he's funny.
He gets the funny championship.
Yes, and I also have to say that if you are listening, you should call in and ask Peyton to do and put a video up of him doing the Big E dance because he told me that he can do it and he's willing to do it on Snapchat, but I think the whole world needs to
do it on Snapchat. The whole world can follow me.
So
get one. I just got one. It's never too late to get one. You can join me and Tony and Sean.
Put it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can see Snapchats of Sean throwing a ball at a ceiling.
Wago is freaking
or lip syncing.
YouTube is so 2000 and late.
Oh. Why you guys keep saying that all the stuff that I like is old man stuff?
What, like old man skin?
Yeah.
Hey, if that's what you're into.
Sucks to be you, nerd.
Kaylin, what did you think about this steel cage match?
Well, going back to our predictions, I said that it was going to look like Seth Rollins was going to win. Kane's going to come out for the distraction. John Cena will capitalize and get the win. And that's exactly what happened. That said, I thought it was a great match. The predictability of it didn't ruin it at all for me. I enjoyed every minute of this match. These guys can go. I mean, of the matches that, like you guys were saying, of the matches that they put on, this is definitely among the best that they put on. I love the dynamic between these guys. I know I said that a couple of times, but it's the relationship between Cena, who's loved and hated by the crowd, and Seth Rollins, who is just such a good heel. I love seeing these guys go. The crowd was really, really into it. And some really good spots. I really liked the spot at the very end where Seth tried to take the huge dive off the top of the cage and, ended up getting pinned. But I really like this match. This was my match of the night.
Very much agreed. So any last thoughts that anybody has about this event? Any highlights, low points, anything we didn't bring up?
I have a question for you guys. Do you think the lack of pyro affected the show? I mean, do you think no?
They never have pyro at MSG.
I know it's because it's the venue, but man, the Dudley Boyz entrance, I think it would have been way more impressive if during the cage match if Kane's pyro would have went off on the sides of the cage. Neville has pyro in his intro. Brock Lesnar. I mean,
they've done bigger shows there, like Royal Rumble, and I even think the last time they did WrestleMania there, they cut the pyro down a lot.
I just didn't realize how much it actually adds to it until it was gone tonight, and I'm like, damn, that would have been much more impressive had they had the pyro. So
it's too small, right? Like the smoke.
It's too small.
Yeah.
You remember we actually really bitched about that on was it SummerSlam actually?
Yep.
That day it was way too smoky.
No, I understand the logistics behind it. I just, from a viewer standpoint, I think it adds quite a bit.
At the very least, we know that means that Undertaker wasn't backstage.
But here's the thing: you could have a cool entrance experience without pyro, and they do that with NXT with the lasers and the dry ice and all the other cool effects you could use. There's lots of things you could put in there besides pyro.
Or you could do what Ryback does, where you have the sound effect with no pyro, but made of it.
Well, and all they have is just their big fancy fucking screen, and they just play whatever they want to have on the screen that night. It's the same set every damn show.
You know what did strike me odd, though, about the pyro, and the lack of the pyro? I never noticed that it wasn't there until the Dudleys came out, because they did a wide shot where they would normally do that, and the pyro you'd see it shoot down and stuff. And the fact that it didn't, I was just like, wait, we don't have pyro tonight. If they wouldn't have done that shot specifically, I don't think I would have noticed until Brock Lesnar came out. Because whenever Brock Lesnar does his stuff and there's no pyro, it's noticeable. Other than that, though, it wasn't a big problem.
No, it wasn't a problem, but it was noticeable.
When was the last time somebody won clean in a cage match? Like, without any interruptions from anybody?
You know, the last time I can remember, and you might not even I remember Jeff Hardy winning a cage match when he jumped off the top to, but he was on the outside.
No, that was just climbing to go to the...
So there wasn't anybody. Well, then that might be the last time, actually. That was, what, like 2008?
There's been more than that. Those tag matches that fucking Cody and Goldust was in, who was it, with the New Age Outlaws? Where Cody did that backflip off the top of the cage and missed?
I don't remember this.
You don't remember
I
this?
remember
Cody doing the moonsault off the fucking cage and Road Dogg just like completely steps out of the way. Like,
yeah, I don't know how you can't remember that.
No, I remember that, but I don't remember the ending of the match.
Pretty sure there was just a pin after that. Road Dogs rolled him up and pinned him.
Huh. Well, Road Dogg had the best idea then. Just, nope.
What was the last one where Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose were in a steel cage match? It was within the last year or so.
There had to have been some TV that exploded or
No,
something.
that wasn't that the match where they both fell off through a table and it ended up double count out or whatever?
Yeah. I don't think anybody interfered with that one, though.
It was still a weird ending.
Yeah, true. No outside interference, though.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, except if you count the table.
Except for the table.
Table lives matter.
The tables.
See? Yeah. I think that'll do us in then for our little review and recap of the WWE Live from Madison Square Garden post show. That's pretty much everything's run down, and we've given our opinions. And the only thing left for us to do is to give you some promotional stuff, tell you where to find us, and all that other jazz. So let's go around the table here, which is not interfering in any way, and just throw out some promotional stuff. So, Kaylin, anything you want to toss out there?
Yes, you may follow me on the Twitter machine at Kaylin Ferris.
Sean?
Snapchat is Happy Pope. Give me a follow.
He's going to make do on that promise to throw his ball at the ceiling.
Yeah. Up in his ball. It's like ball. You know?
To send you Snapchats of him saying that he's fucking knackered, or was it saying...
I sent you a dick pic the other day.
It was a real one, thank God. If it would have been a real one, we would have been not connected on Snapchat anymore.
What, did he send you a picture of Drew?
Did he send you a picture of, like, Dick Cheney or something?
A terrible drawing.
Yeah.
Which, if you want to see what Sean can draw on there, then you can follow him on Snapchat. Caroline,
another good reason to get Snapchat.
Okay, you guys are almost convincing me. I'll think about it.
Okay.
You hear that, Sean? Take that from you. Almost convincing.
Sean has been trying to get me to get a Snapchat for the longest time, but I don't have the patience for it, guys. It's just so... Plus, I don't take pictures of myself. What am I going to post? Pictures of Bonnie all the time.
Yeah.
Bonnie's my dog.
Yeah, you post everything else.
So mean. Okay, I'll think about it. But in the meantime, you can look up my Instagram, creepy_Caroline. And
maybe we'll see pictures of your dog.
Yes, and my work. Okay, I've been good about this. I've been posting more pictures about my work lately, so yeah.
Wago?
At Stephen Wago on Twitter, and that's Stephen with a PH, and StephenWago.com.
And Peyton?
All right, folks, if you enjoyed this live show here on Mega Powers Radio, then you should be joining us live after Raw every single Monday night here on
we're live.
Because it's live for the most interactive post-Raw experience available. That's live every Monday following Raw.
All right, everybody, since my plugs are not the rest told because that doesn't exist on this little special edition. I'm just going to throw out there a couple little things here. Make sure that you check out the All Talk Show, which that comes completely randomly, but when we decide to do that, we will do that on megapowersradio.com, and we'll always let you know in advance on our Facebook page, facebook.com/alltalkshow, as well as our Twitter page, twitter.com/alltalkshow. If you can't catch that live and participate in the conversation there, then you can catch that on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube, and you can do that for the same things with fanboysanonymous.com, the geek culture spectrum that we do, anything with the nerdy side of stuff that we're into. That's all, of course, .com/fanboysanonymous, except for the Twitter, which is fanboysanon, because you can't fit that all. And, of course, check out everything else coming your way from smarkoutmoment.com, including iTunes, Stitcher, and youtube.com/smarkoutmoment. Later on this week, we're going to be doing not only that Raw post-show, but we're also going to be doing our next episode of Smack Talk, which is going to be predictions for the NXT TakeOver event. And then immediately following the NXT TakeOver event, we're going to do our little post-show for that one as well. So if you are not unable to do this one because it was a Saturday night and you are able to do it Wednesday nights and stuff, come join us in for the Mega Powers Radio event for that one. And that'll do us in for this episode. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all on the panel for joining me on this episode. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.